Hi everyone! Thank you so much for joining me for some Yin Yoga today. In today's class we'll be doing Yin Yoga for the Heart Chakra. So come and take a comfortable seat. This can be kneeling, cross-legged, up on a block, or even in a chair. Lift up tall through your spine. Bring your shoulders onto the back body. Begin to tune into your breath. Feel free to close your eyes. And if you're wondering what a chakra is, basically it's an energy center in the body. And the heart chakra is the link to more of the physical chakras, to the upper, more spiritual chakras. It's special in the fact that it runs all the way down the arms as well. So in that way, it's a lot like the root chakra as well. For the root chakra, it runs down the legs. As you breathe into your heart space, feel free to place your hands any way that feels right to you over the space. I'm just going to try to float my hands away because of the microphone, but you can be in prayer. You can put one palm on top of the other, or even just bring them in delicate fists. And if you would like, you can bring your face down into the space. See if you can feel an energy quality in the center of your chest, in the front as well as the back body. And if you do, breathe into it. If you don't, breathe into it as well. And some imagery that you can bring to the center is you can imagine a green light in the space, or a green jewel, a green flower, whatever feels just best for you, whatever comes to mind first. Whatever you brought to mind, let it fill your entire chest, front and back, and then let it radiate down the arms and into the hands. Keep breathing into this space. The heart chakra is the root of love, compassion, empathy, and of course forgiveness. Let's begin the class by taking a nice, deep, slow inhale through the nose and then out the mouth, but bringing that air quality into the chest. So inhale. And then exhale. You can gently bring your palms away, lifting up through the head again. then if your eyes were closed, just blink them back open. The first pose we'll take today is supported fish. So have your blocks, or your props rather, and if you want any information on what you can use at home for props, if you don't have any yoga props, just look down in the description for options for props in Yin Yoga. There's a lot of things you can use around the house. So I'm going to use my meditation pillow, but if you don't have a meditation pillow or a bolster, you can use your first block, placing it to the long edge of your mat. And you want to place it on the second level so that when you lower down on your back, you'll be hitting directly in between the shoulder blades. And then the second block will be to support your head. So instead of using the first block, I'm going to use the meditation pillow. And there will be an option to place your palms over your head. So because of where my shoulders are, I like to place the second block above where I place my head. But you really have to play around with it. So bend your knees, feet on the floor, and then gently lower down, opening into the chest and then bringing your head down onto the block. And you can keep your legs straight, or you can bring them together in a butterfly, or even I like to just cross them. So if you plan on raising your arms overhead, just keep them down by your sides a little bit at first, and then I'll let you know. You want to just open gently through the chest first without going to your maximum range of motion. And if this is your first Yin Yoga class, it's a practice where we hold passive poses for minutes at a time so that the good stress can go into the joints and connective tissues. It's also great for mind and heart too, because it's a meditative kind of practice where we sit in silence and observe the sensations in the body. And you don't want those sensations to go to pain. But at the same time, you don't want to feel any sensation at all. You want to be around the middle. So from now on, I'm just going to surrender to silence. Please feel welcome to do the same, observing your thoughts as they come and go, no matter what they are. If you would like to raise your arms overhead, go ahead. Or you can just stay exactly where you are if you feel perfectly comfortable. You want to be able to relax completely. If you can't or you feel strained in any way, it's a sign that you've gone too far. If you ever feel tingling in Yin Yoga, for example, if your arms are overhead, just bring them back down by your sides. So the way that you release this big opening in the chest is if your knees were bent, just straighten them out. Then roll over to your right side body, coming onto the forearms. And instead of getting rid of your props, it's really best if you have a pillow or a bolster for this next pose. And place it right on your side body. And then you can bend through your knees. Just make sure that you're on your right hip. And then you can have a block above that. And what you're going to do is take a side bend from here. So begin to bend over to the right. And you can lower down onto a block or pillow so that you're open on this left side body and into the chest. And then from here, you can either keep your arms down by your sides, or you can raise that left arm up overhead so that you're getting a nice stretch all the way along the left side body. And then just play with it. Find a way to get comfortable with your arms and head, having your head resting onto the right arm. And then just for a couple breaths, because you really want your breath to be surrendered in Yin Yoga, but for a couple breaths, just breathe and expand the ribs on the left side in all directions. If your left palm is overhead, just gradually lower it down by your side. And then from here, we'll just make our way over to the opposite side. So you can come onto your tummy, and then knees, bringing the left hip down to the mat. And then placing your prop underneath the right side body close to the hip, and then lowering all the way down onto your props. You can stay here if that feels good with your right palm down by your sides, or you can lift the arm overhead. Do whatever variation that you can hold comfortably for minutes. And just like we did on the first side, just for a couple breaths, really stretch and breathe into your right side ribs. If your right arm is overhead, just gradually bring it back down. Might feel a little stiff, but really good to release. And then begin to roll over, coming off your props. Come onto hands and knees. The next pose will be melting heart, and I like to use my meditation pillow for this one too. So if you're using blocks, you can just move them off. I also like to use the eye pillow, and you'll see why. So then you can have your hips over top of your knees and then keep everything there as it is, but just lower your head and chest down to the mat, bringing your forehead onto the eye pillow or towel if you have one, or nothing at all, and stretch the arms overhead. So you can feel free to relax the belly down. You don't have to keep it flexed. The point is to have all the skeleton supported so that no muscles need to flex. Who or what do you love in your life? And where does that source of love originate? Begin to lift your head and then very slowly walk your palms back in. And then for a moment or two, just sit back on the heels. And whatever hand variation you took in the beginning of class over your chest, just bring your face down into the heart center. And release the palms. We're going to take one of the, or actually the only standing pose in Yin Yoga. So bring your feet to the mat and then stand up with your feet to the edges of the mat and you're folded forward over the thighs. This is dangling, and one of the more traditional ways to do it is to clasp onto opposite elbows and just dangle over the thighs. Make sure that your knees are bent. This is not meant to be a hamstring stretch, but more of an opening into the back and chest and into the neck. So let everything dangle down. What I like to do is place my elbows on top of the knees and thighs. It creates a little bit more of stability into the body. And then from here, just relax your head all the way down into the neck. You can even move your head a little bit from side to side. And really focus in on the back of the chest and the back body. And you can take any variation that feels best for you. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You can just dangle and clasp on the opposite elbows. Do whatever feels best for your body. Everybody's body is different. Every skeletal variation is different. Begin to release, bending back into the knees, coming back onto the knees. And then you can sit your hips back one more time. Maybe take a cleansing breath. Okay, from here we can lie down all the way onto the tummy, being supported with the forearms. And if this is too much sensation on your lower back, you can always walk the palms more forward or even lie all the way down. So I'm going to give you a couple options. Bringing your shoulders onto the back body, you can just open through the chest this way. Send your love out into the world. Or what I like to do, and helps to relax the neck, is grab a block, place it on whatever height. You can just lower your forehead down and it will feel comfortable. I like to place the eye pillow for support on the forehead. And then in whatever variation feels best for you, completely relax. And if you use the block variation, it's good too, because it'll bring your face down into the heart center. And relax everything that doesn't need to be working. if you had your head down on the block, just slowly lift it up. And you might like to have a block close for this next one. You probably want to place it on the lowest level, but depending on the body, you'll have to make sure. So just from here, cross your left arm as far as you can over to the right, and then your right arm as far as you can over to the left. And you might want to have the block just in front of you so that you can lower the forehead down on top. And this will help to get into the back body, the back of the shoulders. Slowly begin to lift back up, uncrossing the arms. Coming back into Sphinx, just take Nice cleansing breath. And when you're ready, we'll go to the opposite side. So whatever arm you had directly in front of you, you're going to switch the cross. So this time I'm going to bring my left arm closest, or sorry, the other way around. The right arm closest and the left arm out in front, each going in opposite directions. And you can lower your forehead down. For some people, you can just lower it right on the mat. For others like me, I need a block to support. Just settle and ground into it. Begin to uncross the arms, lifting up. And then just take a moment in Sphinx to release. And you can move your props off to the side and flip onto your back. We're gonna get into the side body one more time before Shavasana. So keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. And then shift your hips an inch or two over to the right. Move your upper body over to the left, and then bring your feet over to the left as well. So you have a nice big stretch into the right side body. And depending on the person, you can play with the cross of the legs one way or the other, depending on what feels most comfortable to you. I like to keep them crossed. So you can also keep them side by side and then just lift your arms overhead. And you can always place your arms onto a block if you feel like it's uncomfortable. You can hold on to palms or opposite elbows. And make sure that you keep both hip bones and collarbones facing towards the sky so you're not leaning one way or the other. And then relax everything down. Keep monitoring your body to make sure everything's relaxed, including your jaw and facial muscles too. From here, we're going to go directly to the other side. So if you had your feet crossed, just uncross them, then bend through your knees. Bring your feet to the floor, and then lift your hips and shift them all the way over to the left. Your upper body all the way over to the right. And then again, your feet over to the right, hips face up. You can switch the cross of your arms. Just take a moment to settle in and get comfortable. When you feel ready, bring your arms slowly back down by your sides. Uncross the feet if that's what you're doing. Bring your feet to the floor and then shift your hips back into the midline. Just take a moment. Feel the release of the side body. ready to come into Shavasana. Bring your shoulders onto the back body, arms along by your sides, palms facing up, and then extend both legs. Let them relax. Relax your eyebrows and all your facial muscles. Focus in again on your heart center, front and back and down the arms. Is it possible for you to consider in a general sense all the people in your life and in the past as well that have shown you love, appreciation, compassion, helpfulness? Now, can you honor that in a form of respect? And just be thankful. If you feel that your heart is guarded, is it possible to show forgiveness to those who may have hurt you in the past? And what I mean by forgiveness is not for their sakes, but for yours. To release any weight. So that your heart may be fully open, free, receptive. So you feel you can pass on eternal love to others. Begin to deepen your breath as you stretch through the arms and legs, hands and feet. Maybe raising your arms overhead and taking a nice deep stretch. And then when you feel ready, rolling over to one side Using your arm as a pillow and scrunching up into a little ball. Use your arms to press up and then come into a comfortable seat. Once again, bringing your palms into your heart space in whatever way feels great to you. And extend your breath up into the chest and into the back body. Imagine that bright green light or gem right in the space. And as you walk away from the mat after class, consider where the source of love originates. And for the answer, all you have to do is look inside your own heart. And it's not something thought about, it's something felt. It's something you are. Can you open your heart to love? Can you spread that love to others? That energy. Let's close our class with a chant of Om. So exhale all the breath out and then inhale. Om. Take another cleansing breath. Thank you so much for practicing Yin Yoga today. I truly appreciate meeting you onto the mat. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this class, please subscribe. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you so much. Namaste.